Okay, we're about to get started, so if you can find your seats, silence your cell phones, like I already did. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, good evening, everyone. We are on the record. Today is Wednesday, the 13th day of July in the year 2022. This is a regular meeting of the Jersey City Municipal Council. We had a scheduled 6 p.m. start, and the clock on my cell phone is showing 6 p.m. May I have a roll call for the commencement of this meeting? Councilperson Ridley.
Here.
Councilperson Prinzeri. Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Soleil. Councilperson Solomon.
Here.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Present.
Councilperson DeGise. Councilperson Rivera will be absent for the entirety of the meeting. Council President Waterman.
Here.
We have 8 council members in attendance at 6 p.m. May we kindly rise for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Kindly remain standing as we salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. On behalf of Council President Waterman, in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231, the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the posting on the bulletin board of the first floor of City Hall, the annual notice, which is the schedule of meetings and caucuses of the Municipal Council for the calendar year 2022, and filed in the office of the City Clerk on Thursday, October 28th, 2021. In addition, at its time of its preparation, the agenda of this meeting was similarly disseminated on Friday, July 8th, 2022 at 3:06 p.m. to the Municipal Council, Mayor, Business Administrator, Corporation Council, and the local newspapers, and posted on the city's website so I can certify as to our total compliance with the Sunshine Law. Okay. On to our first reading ordinances. If you would allow me to read them into the record, starting with item 3.1, City Ordinance 22-066, a franchise ordinance granting permission to 199 Summit LLC, its successors and/or assigns to make private improvements in the public right-of-way or Ingwerson Place for property located at 199-201 Summit Avenue, 62-64 Storms Avenue, 203 and 207 Summit Avenue, 46 Storms Avenue, 1 through 9 Ingwerson Place, Jersey City, that's a little hard to say, and New Street up for me, New Jersey, also known on the tax map of the city of Jersey City as Block 15201, lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 19, 53, 64, 65, 66, and 89. Item 3.2, that's a mouthful. Ordinance 22-067 is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 23, Municipal Court of the Jersey City Municipal Code to add 1 additional full-time judge to the Municipal Court. Council members, I'm going to be taking a vote on items 3.1 through 3.2. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Prinzeri.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Soleil.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye for introduction.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye for introduction. I just want to say on 3.1, we really got to dive into the logistics and the layout of the park. But I'm going to vote aye for introduction.
Okay. Councilperson DeGise.
Aye for introduction.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye for introduction.
Items 3.1 through 3.2 are introduced 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our second reading ordinances. Our first second reading ordinance is item 4.1, City Ordinance 22-060, is an ordinance updating the schedule of maximum towing fees by amending and supplementing Chapter 319, Tower and Towing of the Jersey City Municipal Code. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Motion made by Council President Waterman to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-060. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-060, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
There you go. Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-060 with Councilperson Rivera absent. For final and consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-060, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-060 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our next second reading ordinance, item 4.2, City Ordinance 22-061 is an ordinance commemorating the intersection at 527 Mercer Street and 56 Jordan Street in honor of Sergeant Vincent Pantozzi as Sergeant Pantozzi Plaza. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Council President Waterman to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-061, and I have a second by Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-061, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-061. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-061, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary. Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-061 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Next second reading ordinance, item 4.3, City Ordinance 22-062 is an ordinance adopting amendments to the Hamilton Square redevelopment plan regarding permitted uses. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Council President Waterman to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-062, and I heard a second from Councilperson Prinzary to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-062. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-062. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-062, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-062 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our next second reading ordinance, item 4.4, City Ordinance 22-063, is an ordinance adopting amendments to the mixed-use A zone and Map B of the Morris Canal redevelopment plan. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record. And I see Laverne Washington.
Yes, I just want to know what this is about in the plan, what they're doing. A little more information.
BA? Morris Canal, the redevelopment plan. Or Laura? Either one.
Councilman, Ms. Washington, this is to redefine the scope of the definitions for the uses that's allowable. So it just allows for additional opportunities for commercial entities. No, just the allowable uses.
Okay.
Okay, this is still a public hearing on City Ordinance 22-063. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Council President Waterman. Hold on a second before we hear that loud noise. Motion made by Council President Waterman to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-063, seconded by Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-063, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-063. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-063, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-063 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our next second reading ordinance, item 4.5, City Ordinance 22-064 is an ordinance adopting amendments to the mixed-use E-zone of the Morris Canal redevelopment plan. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion made by Council President Waterman to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-064 and seconded by Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-064, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-064. For final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-064, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-064 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our, on to our very last second reading ordinance, item 4.6, City Ordinance 22-065, an ordinance amending Chapter 254, Property Maintenance, Article 9, Maintenance Responsibilities of Owners and Managers, Section 43, Maintenance of Exterior Premises to include regulations for maintenance of yards. This is a public hearing on this ordinance. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Motion.
Second.
Motion was made by Council President Waterman to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-065, and I am going to give the second to the lightly spoken Councilperson Prinzary. On the motion to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-065, Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on City Ordinance 22-065 for final consideration and adoption of City Ordinance 22-065. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
City Ordinance 22-065 is finally adopted 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay, council members, we have one more order of business before we get to our public speakers. We are now going to hold and conduct a public hearing on the 2022 Journal Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Again, this is a public hearing on the 2022 Journal Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Second.
Wait.
Yes, is the public, come in and say something, come on.
So this is a public hearing on the Journal Square Special Improvement District. Are you here to speak on that, sir? No, this is a public hearing on the Journal Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Again, this is a public hearing on the 2022 Journal Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Any member of the public wishing to be heard, please come up to the podium and state your name for the record, please.
Motion.
Motion made by Council President Waterman,
Second.
seconded by Councilperson Prinzary. To close the public hearing on the 2022 Journal Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Bajano. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent to close the public hearing on the 2022 Journal Square Special Improvement District Assessment Roll and Budget. Okay, now it is the time for our public speakers. I will be timing each speaker. You have 3 minutes to speak. I will start the timer as soon as you start speaking. So just let me get the camera ready to go. And I'll call our first speaker, number 1. Please approach the podium, sir, and state your name for the record.
My name is Wojciech Stan Mazur.
Okay?
I'm a vice president of the business affairs of the Committee for the Conservation of the Katyn Monument as Historic Objects. I was asked to speak on behalf of the organization. Since 2020, our committee formed a delegation to reach out to EPA SID by meeting in the field and on a Zoom with Director Elizabeth Kane and her assistant Martin Smith. Since then, we developed a good working relationship, and I can characterize the changes in the plans up until now as a progress. Unfortunately, the most recent plans, which have not been discussed with us, I can only characterize as a step back. Regress visible in the plans is manifested by trees placed back in the close proximity of the monument and the height and the 5-6-inch height bench once encircles almost completely our monument. In the course of the 2 years of plan discussion, we always advocated for good visibility of the monument and the safety and beauty of Exchange Place. We support efforts to make a Jersey City greener and more beautiful, but have always requested good accessibility and visibility of the monument. As the main organizer of the events and rallies at the monument since 2018, we proposed 2 minor and very important and crucial changes to the recent plans. Number 1, eliminate the long portion of the bench facing Montgomery Street leaving two 20-foot-long benches on the sides of the monument by the trees. Number 2, implement 20 feet wide second access to the monument from Montgomery Street. Between Montgomery Street and the monument, the new plans show the paved area, not the grass anymore. In the past, EPA SID objected to this second opening because exit would lead directly to the grass and cause destruction. This argument is irrelevant now, and second access to the monument is possible, needed, and very important for safety and event organization point of view. These changes will significantly lower the cost of the project because of the reduction of the approximately 100 feet of the very expensive bench and reduction of the landscape for the second access area. Now everyone can notice that our proposal is also financially feasible and should cover the cost of the plan revision. Based on this, I propose that delegation of the Committee for the Conservation of a Catin Monument meet with delegation of the EPA SID to implement these two proposed changes. Honorable members of Council, above statement was presented to Board of the Directors of the EPA SID at their last Zoom meeting, public hearing on July 2nd. After hearing our proposition, Mr. DeMarco remarked that he would support it. But after checking EPSID website and making follow-up calls and emails to EPA SID staff, there has been no indication that these plans revisions will actually materialize. We ask you, honorable members of council, to intervene in this matter on behalf of your constituency as soon as possible. Thank you.
Sir, before you leave, can you just provide me with your address?
My address?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh, sorry?
Stamford, Connecticut.
Stamford, Connecticut. Thank you. Okay, our next speaker is on. June Jones.
Not here. Where's Gene Daly? It's off.
Can you see me? Okay, that's better. Okay, June Jones is not here. Next speaker, Kay Peterman. Kay, if you can just state your address for the record before you start speaking, I greatly appreciate it.
Full street address or just city?
Just a city.
Jersey City.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Kay Peterman. I'm trans and non-binary, and I use they, them pronouns. Like a number of trans and non-binary people, I do not identify as a woman, but can get pregnant and may need an abortion. Also, I'm noting I'll be using the word trans here on in while speaking to encompass trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people. Last week, you passed a resolution 22-503, making Jersey City a sanctuary city for abortions. That resolution did use the gender-inclusive language, birthing people, which I do appreciate. However, not a single council person at the last meeting explicitly acknowledged that this not only affects women, but trans people as well. The submission extended to when you were discussing a potential effort to try and open an abortion clinic or similar in the city, specifically saying only women would be involved in the venture. Seeing as this is an intersectional health issue and trans people are a more vulnerable group who face significant barriers to healthcare as well as additional hostility and threats to their privacy and bodily autonomy, the submission is dangerous and undermines the stated purpose of passing the resolution, to make Jersey City a place that everyone feels safe. Any abortion services that Jersey City plans to initiate should be built to be trans-inclusive from the ground up and do so by including trans people and trans-competent providers in this process to better avoid the issues with discrimination, competency, and accessibility that many trans people face in accessing any health care, including reproductive care. In terms of discrimination, half of all trans people and 68% of trans people of color reported experiencing some form of discrimination or mistreatment at the hands of a healthcare provider in 2020, according to a survey from the Center for American Progress. According to that same survey, 1 in 3 reported having to educate their doctor about trans people in order to receive appropriate care, which is a position no patient should be in when talking to the doctor. Additionally, trans people who were assigned female at birth experience higher rates of conditions like PCOS and endometriosis, as well as other chronic illnesses whose symptoms or medications can lead to complications with reproductive care or treatments like abortions. If a doctor isn't fully informed about the condition, leading to the patients needing to do extra work of educating the doctor themselves. These issues only increase in a state like New Jersey, where it can be incredibly difficult to find accessible trans-affirming care in state, even when it does exist, making it harder and more stressful to find informed care that could be helped by making that care that isn't trans-inclusive from the start. From an accessibility standpoint, more than half of trans people and 60% of trans people of color put off necessary medical care because they couldn't afford it. Additionally, trans people with disabilities face a higher unmet need of health care compared to both other trans people and non-trans people who are disabled, and their needs should be considered as well. All this demonstrates that the need for healthcare services to be trans-informed is vital and accessible, and for it to be accessible to everyone, and that includes abortion services. If you do go forward with making a clinic, you can consult the Hudson Pride Center, Bab Zipperstein Proud Center, Bianca Mays at Planned Parenthood, or Taylor Chang, who created TransApp. Sorry, I just walked here, so I'm out of breath. But yeah, please include one of these if you move forward with those plans. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. That thing is annoying. All right, our next speaker, Laverne Washington.
Good evening.
Webb, Washington.
Okay, Laverne Webb Washington.
Yes. Good evening, Council.
Good evening.
I'm here tonight about my city, which I was born in come August 2nd, 74 years ago, on Maple and Holiday Street. I'm very upset about what's going on in Jersey City. I do 3 functions a year here, free. I don't get grant money. People like that man sitting back there, that lawyer, Connie Foley, a person like Billy Melms, Guarini Plumbing. I do right now, I'm in Barry Lane again with a summer camp, about 40, 50 kids. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on the internet. I'm on none of the above. I ride around this city, and I see little children playing in the street, and I give out applications for a summer camp. I've been doing this like 20 years. I sat down with the vice president of Goldman Sachs when Glenn Cunningham was mayor. I sat down with billionaires that came through my city. Up there, the old medical center, George Philopoulos, he should buy Timberland boots for our kids in Jersey City to the market fell. I go to Macy's in November, I come before winter, I give out brand new coats. People say, I got some new, no. I'm gonna give my kids some new stuff in the hood. I go to 40 school, 41, 33 or whatever on the boulevard and here and downtown, number 7. Stop letting these people come to my city and build these skyscrapers and don't want to give nothing back. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. If we can go up and down these blocks of Jersey City and see all our young men and women on the street, we can open up in the hood 10, 15 smoke shops. They ain't down here. They ain't in General Square or Central Avenue. They in the hood. And our babies are turning to drug addicts. And we do nothing. We do nothing. I did 2 buildings of affordable housing. I ain't make no money. The money I made went back to my kids. But I did it so people in this community can have a place to lay their head. I'm getting ready to do another building on MLK. But what I'm saying to you tonight, each one teach one. We got to do, I'm up there in Barry Lane with my camp, the 2nd year. Hopefully I'll be back up on MLK with it next year. But the point is, help these people in the community. And I thank you. I'm not going to waste no time.
Thank you, Laverne.
But
Thank you.
Think about what I'm saying about our community.
Thank you, Laverne.
Please do that. Thank you.
Okay.
And I know that you're from Jersey City.
You're from Jersey City, right?
Yes, she's from Jersey City. Okay, next speaker, Christina. If you can just state your address for the record, please, or city.
Lower Manhattan.
Say it again, Christine. We couldn't hear you. Go ahead.
Lower Manhattan.
Lower Manhattan, okay?
I'm here to speak to ask you to withdraw item 10.7 concerning approval of the Exchange Place Alliance budget for 22-23. I'm basing this on the letters that were sent to you and placed into the record last month, including the one from the Kościuszko Foundation that has 20,000 members, the letter that appears in this month's list of letters 6.75 from the Polish Slavic Center with 20,000 members, and any number of other organizations that have written to you advising you that they were never contacted, never asked to join, never allowed to speak, never allowed to comment upon, or if they did make a comment, they never received a response to their questions about the plans. Mr. Sokołowski, in item 6.27, writes to you and asks that you lay over voting on the budget or any item involved with the renovation of Exchange Place until such time as all court cases concerning this project are resolved. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a court case on file in the courts of New Jersey. Do not be misled by what was said yesterday. To summarize, the organizations that I have spoken to, whom I have sent the plans to, have all stated that they will not oppose, that they are absolutely in agreement that a renovation of Exchange Place is needed. However, building a berm and a 5.5-foot high bench, and in the email I sent to you, I enclosed two images, two screenshots from the very plans of the Exchange Place Alliance, the landscape engineering plans that show the heights of the berm and the bench and the shrubs, that this is not needed. Scattered benches, yes. And yes, those benches can be affixed because the page following the page with the rendering, with the architectural plans for the berm and the bench shows that garbage cans and other items are being affixed into the surface. So this is doable on Exchange Place. We ask, as did the members of the planning board in their discussion, the people who have experience in this area, that the vista of Manhattan not be destroyed, that people be able to look at Manhattan, to be able to approach from Montgomery Street and see the memorial as it was planned by the artist. Don't mask the Katyn Memorial.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you. Our next speaker, John. John, if you can just state your city.
Yes, good evening. My name is John Trop. I live in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and I work in Washington, D.C. I'm the Director of Policy Planning, Polish American Congress, that represents the interests of 10 million Polish Americans. We have divisions in 19 states. And the President of the Polish American Congress, Mr. Frank J. Spula, regrets that he can't be here with us tonight, so he asked me to express the position of the Polish American Congress. And I fully agree with the positions of the previous speaker, Ms. Krystyna Piórkowska. And I would just like to add that our Polish American Congress slogan is, "Please do not mask the Katyn Memorial in Exchange Place, Jersey City, New Jersey. The proposed new construction at the base of the Katyn Memorial will hide Andrzej Pytiński's powerful sculpture from public view at the very time when the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin, is using armed force and lies to restore the Soviet Union and to advance communism, a movement that has killed 100 million people for political opposition to their project since the Bolshevik Revolution of November 1917, and which depends on lies for achieving mass support and for occluding their murderous projects. So the message then is please do not perpetrate the second cover-up of the Katyn Forest Massacre by masking with new construction the Katyn Memorial. The first cover-up was perpetrated by Stalin, who blamed the murder of 25,000 Polish prisoners of war on Nazi Germany. So masking the Katyn monument will, in effect, conceal this crime without punishment yet again, and that's very unfair, not just to Polish Americans, but to all. And Jersey City has a special role to play as the gateway city. Patinsky's monument, in a memorial in Exchange Place, is the most powerful statement against communism that we have in the United States. There is the Victims of Communism Memorial in Washington, D.C., at the intersection of New Jersey and Massachusetts Avenues, which is a replica of the statue of Liberty holding up her torch that was put up by Chinese students who were killed in Tiananmen Square.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
May I just have a quick
Thank you.
moment to expedite the hearing?
No, thank you.
No.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Thank
That's
you.
it. That's it.
I
That's
see
it.
on the speaker's list
That's it. That's it.
a lot of familiar names.
No.
Sir, your
And-
time.
So, thank
okay,
you.
But
Okay, our next speaker, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Next speaker is Michael Farrell. Michael? No. Not here. Joyce Willis?
Hi, good evening, Council.
Joyce, if you can just state for the record your city.
Jersey City.
Thank you.
Okay, the reason why I came before you was to present an issue that the seniors are having at the Mary Bethune Center. There are programs set up just for seniors that we've been taking advantage of for at least 7 to 8 years. One specifically is Tai Chi, which is so beneficial to us seniors. And Friday, on July 8th, we were handed these letters as we came in to take our class. The letters are saying that it's going to be temporarily suspended because our instructor, which is Pastor Rivers, had other obligations. I called Pastor Rivers, and that's a total lie. Pastor Rivers has not been paid for almost a whole year. In the past, we've lost other instructors because they're not being paid from the city, and we're losing certain services as seniors. So I'm asking the council. I was looking to speak to Denise in Council Ward A, but because I didn't know F is now A. Well, anyway, so she's aware of it. I spoke to your aide, Mr. Gilmore, this afternoon. She's aware of it. I'm going to give you these letters that were given to us, and I wish you would do the homework that's required to make sure that these instructors that are giving us this service that's already been paid for gets paid.
Joyce, I'm following through that situation, and there was a mix-up, but he was paid, and it is a personal issue that he is going through it. I know personally, but he was paid. I followed up with that because somebody called me ahead of time. I know that for a fact, but it's a personal issue too, and I can't discuss that.
Can I ask you when you followed up? Because this just happened.
2 days ago. 2 days ago.
The same day we got this, July 8th.
2 days ago, because I even spoke to the director over there to make sure, because I got a call.
So will that service continue?
If he decides to be, if he decides to come back, sure, it will. We just need a permanent schedule from him. That's what we need.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. So you guys know about it.
I'm aware of it. You can give it to them, but I'm quite aware of it. Okay? Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, our next speaker, 5.9, Lelaine Kerr. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. Kerr, last name Kerr.
Sorry, Sean, she's not here.
Oh, thank you. Some of the council members actually know faces, too. That's great. Appreciate it. Our next speaker, Jean Daly. I don't see Jean. Oh, I do see Jean. There she is. I didn't see you at first, Jean.
Because I was late. My son had a doctor's appointment.
You're hiding?
No.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, Jean.
Yes. Yes, I'm Jean Daly. I'm again speaking with others regarding to postpone the resolution regarding the introduction of the Exchange Place Alliance budget. I say this for a number of reasons, and I think they need to be heard. Firstly, there are 2 current lawsuits against the Exchange Place Alliance. So if someone said otherwise, that's wrong and it's falsehood. From what I also understand that the Alliance says they're going to be digging in the ground in 2 weeks or something. They cannot put a shovel anywhere without DEP approval. They do not have this approval. But this to me is just a continuation of the behavior that the Exchange Place Alliance continues to exhibit by completely violating our laws and our procedures. The Exchange Place Alliance is being sued because they do not conform to the Open Meetings Act. I can't get an Oprah request for them. I'm going to have to file a lawsuit for that too. For example, Mike DeMarco, he's the board president. He doesn't work for Matt Cali anymore. He was fired from Matt Cali. He doesn't have property here. What's he doing on the board? Same with Richard Cardoso. He doesn't work for Veris now, the former Matt Cali. What is he still doing on the board? Steve Pazicki, he's still a board member. He sold his property in Exchange Place, but he's still on the board. This is a violation of what we as a city should be doing regarding any SID. And one reason Steve Pazicki is on the board still, even though he sold his property, he has got a brilliant contract with the Exchange Place Alliance for the renovation of Exchange Place. What kind of deal making is going on here? This is all illegal, all of it. And I get nothing from the city council. And if you notice, there are many times that I've had to correct Ms. Kane and Mr. Schmidt about this, when they post that, oh, we have planning board approval, oh, we have DEP approval. No, you don't. So why are we allowing this to happen? And also in December, normally when you have a construction plan that happens on city property, as is Exchange Place, any company, any building that's going to have to be crossed or used for this construction project has to get an easement from the city. So 10 Exchange Place Plaza, when they need an easement for them, 10 Exchange Place Plaza wanted to have this easement agreement with the city and push for it. Well, the Exchange Place Alliance fought back and said that would be too difficult, and they were the ones who ended up creating an easement with the Exchange Place Alliance. This is not how business is done here. Thank you.
And Jean, you're from Jersey City, correct? Thank you. Our next speaker, Terry Watkins Williams. Terry?
Not here.
Okay. Thank you, council members. Next speaker, John. Oh, you were listed twice. Okay. Sorry, my staff didn't catch that. Thank you for being honest as well.
You should have put a mustache.
Speaker 5.13, Gary Murphy. Gary?
Not here.
Okay, thank you. Elizabeth Kane. Elizabeth, if you won't mind, I forget sometimes to ask if you would state your city.
Good evening, Council. It's Elizabeth Kane from Jersey City.
Thank you.
I just wanted to come up and say thank you very much for your continued support and moving our budget forward. As you know, we do many, many amazing things along the waterfront. We've come a long, long way in the 4 years that we've been established. We've been doing seasonal plantings, snow removal for safety, pedestrian safety initiatives. We do many, many public free events that a lot of people attend, and we're really making the waterfront somewhere proud that people that can work, live, and visit Jersey City can take advantage of. And I'm really proud of it, and I think that you guys all are and should be as well. In regards to some of the public comments, we as a board and staff have the utmost respect for the Catton Memorial. We've worked very, very hard over 3 years to develop this plan and have had many, many public meetings with lots and lots of input and have worked with the administration and all of the city departments to take all of this input and really try to make the best plan possible that will benefit everyone. This last change was to benefit any public event, like large public cultural event that will go. That's why it's no longer grass. So we're creating green space wherever we possibly can in the space so that it's not just pavement as it is now, because it was a bus terminal prior. And there's no foliage down there. There's 0 trees. They've all died. So in order to create an inviting kind of green space with allowing for large public events, that's why the plan is the way now. I encourage everyone to go online. All of the renderings are up there. These are renderings developed by the professionals that designed it. They are true to what the design will be based on the measurements and everything, and you'll see that it's really highlighting the statue and all the beautiful things of the waterfront. There's so many things I'd like to say. I'm probably save them for the public hearing, but I really appreciate your support, and I look forward to doing a lot more great work down there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, 5.15. He's coming right up. So just state your name for the record and your city, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrzej Burkhardt. I live in Maywood, New Jersey. Mr. Mayor, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I would like to address once more the current redevelopment plans of Exchange Plaza, specifically the immediate surroundings of the Catton Memorial. My name is Andrzej Burkhardt, I said, and I have been serving for years as president of New Jersey Division of Polish American Congress, as well as vice president of the Coalition of Polish Americans, a nationwide organization. I'm speaking on their behalf. I would like to point out here that I would like to appeal to the council to take another look at the issue of the Catton Monument. This is not exactly an issue which is isolated and confined to Jersey City. This is a place where dignitaries from other countries come to pay their respects to the victims of Catton and of communism in general. I have spoken from this point several times already, asking you to not approve the reconstruction plans as proposed to date by EPA SID. My message remains the same. Please do not approve the EPA SID budget, which includes this reconstruction plan, until it's substantially modified by eliminating entirely the ring of berms, raised grounds, retaining seat walls and benches with high backrests surrounding the monument tightly from west, north, and south, and preserving the open space, paved space surrounding the monument as a circle of at least 100 feet in diameter. I said that before. I do not want to be redundant or boring by voicing the same concerns over and over again, so I will only mention some of the 7 reasons of my position and add a few new thoughts. First, drastic increase of the cost of beautifying Exchange Plaza and its ongoing maintenance. 2, unnecessary division and reduction of the open space of Exchange Plaza, which casts doubts on compliance with the master plan. 3, destruction of the beautiful view of the Hudson River and the Manhattan backdrop. And 4, creation of a public safety hazard through a highly secluded areas with severely limited escape routes. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears to me that the reasoning behind this costly concept of beautification seems to be, if we cannot remove the monument, let's bury it in the ground. We cannot do it literally, so let's do it visually and relatively by raising the ground around it, leaving the monument on the bottom of a hole. At the City Council caucus meeting this Monday, Director Mrs. Elizabeth Kane declared that EPA-SID has amended plans, but the detailed engineering drawings with dimensions are not published. Why not published? This council and the general public have the right to know what
Thank you, sir.
The final plan is.
The time is up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker, 5.16, Handeka Muslim. Muslim, last name Muslim? Not here? Okay. Speaker 5.17, Kinga, last name W-O-J-T-C-Z-A-K. Not here. Laura Moss? Laura Moss? Okay. Just checking, I'm sorry.
Laura Moss, Hilltop neighborhood.
I'm sorry, you city?
Hilltop in Jersey City.
Hilltop? Okay, there you go. Thank you.
I'm speaking on behalf of the Ordinance 10-6 for the MMD cannabis dispensary. I think it's 10-6, 10-7, 10-8, one of those. 10-5. Thank you. I'm speaking as a resident of the Hilltop, not as a representative of the Hilltop Association. I am not a cannabis user, but I am a long-term resident of Jersey City, and recently I've become very, very involved in my community, just to sort of try and be a liaison with the tsunami of construction and upheaval we're facing with the gentrification. So I meet with developers, contractors, city officials, county officials, you name it. We meet, they tell us what they're going to do in our neighborhood, whatever the flavor of the week is, whatever infrastructure they're doing. They tell us why it's good for us. They tell us why it's temporary. They tell us all these things. They just tell us why they have the right to do it. Very rarely do they ever come to us first and go, what do you think about this? They just say, hey, we're going to do this. And MMD came in and they met with some of us in the community. And they didn't do that. They said, hey, we want to come to your neighborhood. We want to know about your neighborhood. We want your opinion on how to make this work here. This is a new industry. We don't really know what's going to happen. But I was really refreshed that somebody actually came and asked us a little bit about how they were going to earn our trust in our neighborhood. And I feel like these dispensaries are wild, wild west in Jersey City. I would hate to see another repeat of the Airbnb fiasco that this city faced. I would like to see dispensaries like MMD come in and they have their act together. They seem to know, they answered all of our questions, they were very transparent about it. They did not shy away from any of our concerns. Am I naive enough to think there's not going to be issues down the line? No. But I am heartened by somebody who came in and said, we want to make your neighborhood better. How do we do that? Instead of, we're coming, it's going to be better, you'll see. So I am just speaking on behalf of them and saying I welcome them to the neighborhood. And I really hope this council takes a really hard look at the ordinance that was passed for these dispensaries and uses the ones that seem to know what they're doing and have a trial, have a record of knowing how to set these up, and really put some hard questions to any other dispensaries that are going to open in any of the other wards. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, and next speaker, 5.19, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Olivia Bergonio, B-E-R-G-O-N-I-O. There you go. And if you can just state your city for the record before you start speaking, I appreciate it.
I will certainly do. I also have some pictures that I would like for you guys to see. Is that possible?
Give it to the clerk.
I'll pass it.
All right. My name is Nilvia Bergonio. I live in 107 Magnolia Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. I have a corner property with access to a backyard where I can park 1 or 2 cars. My zone falls into the Journal Square 2060 redevelopment area, and I lived in Jersey City for 20 years. I live in the city due to the proximity to New York City, which most people do, and their fashion district where I usually work. I believe that using transportation is not only efficient, but it is great for the environment. I also prefer to walk than taking my car everywhere I go. However, it is imperative for me to have a car. And the main reason for this is that I take my son to school every day. He's only 12 years old and goes to Greenville, which in the morning, the public transportation system is incredibly congested, and he's also too young to take the bus. Sorry. In addition to this, all my family live in areas outside Jersey City where public transportation is not really an option. Therefore, I need the car to go visit them. I currently own a plug-in hybrid, which is perfect for the city since it gives you enough mileage to go through most of the day without running errands, without emitting carbon dioxide, specifically 30 miles per charge. Since I do not use my car often, this is an ideal car for the city, as carbon dioxide emissions produced on this car are 0. I believe that this is a very important figure because every gallon of gasoline burned creates 8,887 grams of carbon dioxide. When adding this up to a week, the amount of carbon dioxide emitted to the air is substantial and extremely bad for pedestrians. They will suffer the most from these emissions. I know this because I am a pedestrian 75% of the time in Jersey City. Having this car is a great choice for the environment. However, for me to be able to use this car is incredibly difficult. I have to constantly be able to have a plug-in system in order for the car to actually have good use. However, every time that I go to charge the car, and I've given pictures to the gentleman in front of me, I have to deal with people that do not have EV vehicles being parked there or no network usage. In short, I would like to say that we need more driveways at the homes that are able to have them in order for us to be able to charge our cars and not spend our time running around in circles in the city.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker, 5.20, Will Herbert. Will, if you just state your city for the record, please.
Jersey City.
Thank you.
Sure.
Just want to move the mic up a little bit. You're a tall guy. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, good.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I am from Ward D in the Heights, and I am, I guess, an extension to what Nilvia is speaking about. I'm looking to gain support for owners, both current and future, owners of electric vehicles, as the city continues to expand its green growth and environmental movement that we're under at the moment. As mentioned, I live in the Heights along New York Avenue. I live in a 3-story building at the moment. Currently, I'm not allowed to use the parking out front. And the issue that I'm running into is that my neighbor downstairs has an electric vehicle. I am considering purchasing an electric vehicle, but I'm holding back from doing so because I have nowhere to charge it. To Nilvia's point, one quick example on Central Avenue, every time I drive by the single station across, I don't know how many blocks long Central Avenue is, there's one charging station. It's always plugged up by a gas car almost every time. So charging, my point is charging is very difficult if you own an electric vehicle in this town. I think we need to be more forward-looking, and what I'm trying to do is gather support for charging your vehicle at home if you have the proper space to do so. In my specific situation, I live in a 3-story building. Each story is its own unit. Each unit has their own car. One is already an electric vehicle. I'm purchasing one, and my neighbor would consider buying one as well. So ultimately, we would be net reducing cars on the street because we would only require one curb cut to get 2 cars off the street. I wish I had a picture like the woman before me, but I don't have it with me. But there's an image outside of a perfectly wide space in front of my driveway, in front of my yard, where all 3 of our cars are taking up public parking right now. And we could remove 2 of those cars. And there's several other instances around the city that I think would fall under that category as well, as I've seen many people and have spoken to many people as we've been gathering an online community. There currently is an online petition gathering many signatures of people who are in support of this, and it's under the topic of making a move environmentally friendly, which is to move towards an EV away from gas, which I think is in general friendly for the city itself as well, reducing emissions as we just heard as well. Mentioned the growing petition online, and I hope to reach out and speak. I've spoken to some of you up here already personally, and I look forward to reaching out to you individually and having this conversation and just growing the awareness and movement for that as well. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, I just spoke to you before. What's wrong in this city is that they're tearing down a lot of our older homes that have no driveways, and they're putting in a brand new home which has a driveway, and that's wrong.
I agree.
You know, and things have to change, and the planning board and zoning board have to start changing their attitude towards certain things.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, our next speaker, 5.21, Danielle Schock, Schoeck. Danielle? Not here. Martin Schmid? Martin? You here? Oh, there you go. Martin, if you wouldn't mind just stating your city for the record.
Yes, Jersey City. Good evening, everyone. My name is Martin Schmid. I am an employee of the Exchange Place Alliance Special Improvement District. I'm here tonight to support everything and echo everything that Elizabeth Kane has said. Just to give you kind of a perspective of the boots on the ground, work that we do. I'm the manager of economic development and special projects with the Exchange Place Alliance, so I help to oversee the various aspects of the work that we do, including our clean team, which oversees the trash and litter removal of the debris throughout our district. We have a snow removal and ice removal team that oversees aspects of that in the wintertime. And we also have a comprehensive holiday lighting and decoration installation program for the holiday season. But just to highlight some of the aspects for the preceding fiscal year, our clean team has put in 11,613 hours of service in the service of the Exchange Place neighborhood. That includes the removal of over 3,000 bags of trash. I estimate about 35 pounds for a bag of trash. That's about 350,000 pounds of trash that our clean team has removed from the streets in our district at no cost to the average taxpayer. That's completely brought on by us. The clean team has also had over 1,600 instances of graffiti and poster and sticker removal, and additionally 397 instances, of graffiti removal. Like I said, we also have a seasonal landscaping program, so summer, fall, even during the winter, we make sure that the area is looking green, looking pretty, looking beautiful for our residents, for those who visit the district. And this past summer, and what we're looking into instituting again for this summer is summer security patrols utilizing JCPT off-duty officers from the Department of Public Safety. That has been a great improvement. Again, that's a cost that the Alliance has paid, and we've seen really positive results from that. We've, helped to clear out instances of loitering and things like that, just to make sure that the district, and really one of the jewels of Jersey City is safe. Green with our landscaping program, beautiful through the holiday season, and consistently clean. And just urge you to pass Resolution 22510. That's the approval of our FY23 budget. And like we've said, we're always available. If you'd like to do a walkthrough, I can personally just walk you through some of the stuff that I do. I know Elizabeth is always available to be at your service as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker, Jan Bazinski. You can just state your city for the record.
My name is Jan Baginski, Jan, residing at 208 Clinton Place in Hackensack, New Jersey. Dear members of Jersey City Council.
Jan,
Put
just
your mic
please
down.
bring the mic down to you.
So we
Bring the
can
mic,
hear you.
lower the mic, yep.
Lower? Okay. I participated in several meetings and always voiced my strong opposition to the IPA seed project redevelopment of the Katyn Memorial Area. Today, I would like to add more reason against this project. How does preventing celebration in Exchange Plaza serve the public? How does creating a private corporate roadway in a public plaza serve the public? How can Director Mrs. Elizabeth Kane make a statement about commencing work in Exchange Plaza while there is a complaint against IPA seed filed in Superior Court of New Jersey, Hudson County? While they still have a DEP permit. IPA seed project denies the unobstructed access to the monument and annihilate the great advantage of memorial area of being practically maintenance-free. IPA seed project provides for earthen berm and shrubs of 7 height combined that would encircle the monument. This will definitively obstruct the access to monument. Shrubs and berm would require continuous maintenance, not so easy to provide at the elevated height. Its cost should be included in the city budget. Rain and wind will be eroding the berm, bringing its debris to walkways and places around. Again, more money will be needed to clean the affected areas and correct the effects of the erosion. The berm and shrubs, 7 feet high in total, would create a secluded area for drinking, sleeping, and homeless quarters.
Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. Our next speaker, 5.24, Andreas Lorenz. If you can just state your city for the record, please.
Jersey City, Powerhouse Arts District.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to have my voice heard today. I'm here to unequivocally oppose the cannabis dispensary at 150 Bay Street, Resolution 22-537. I believe a dispensary should go in an area that is more commercial and not in an area as residential as ours. My wife and I are new parents of an infant. We daily walk our son around our building and surrounding area and are quite concerned, in fact horrified, at the prospect of having to navigate a cash-only dispensary business such as this. Cash-only dispensary businesses are statistically prone to higher crime rates than other businesses that are not strictly cash-only. The statistics of increase of violent crime where there is a dispensary in an area are well documented. You can look at the data in states that have legalized cannabis over the years and see crime rates have skyrocketed in these areas, primarily the shops themselves. In Denver, blocks with recreational dispensaries saw an 18% increase in property crime when compared to areas without any. Property crime includes offenses like theft, burglary, and car break-ins. In Oakland, California, shops have been getting hit by roving bands of violent gangs, losing up to $5 million in theft, as well as the area residents and vehicle break-ins. San Francisco, mobs of 20 or more armed thieves have raided shops, and in Tacoma, Washington, armed robbers of a cannabis dispensary shop murdered the owner and had a shootout where innocent people were also shot. These are just a few examples of the rates of violent crime increases due to these shops opening up. The numbers have increased throughout the years, particularly since COVID. In addition, this will also result in lower property values in the neighborhood, making it a less desirable place to live. Moreover, it would be incredibly irresponsible for the city to issue a permit for this use in an area where there are 5 daycare centers, as well as the Waldo School, within a 3-block radius. 2 of those are across the street from 150 Bay, and 1 is in the building itself. Kids are constantly walking on those same sidewalks, as well as playing at the 10 Provost Plaza right across the street. And is that a risk this council is willing to take? I would like to mention that while the residents of 150 Bay were given a form to emphatically support the opening of this dispensary in our building, we were given no way to oppose it, which does not engender a lot of trust and confidence in this process. Unlike Laura Moss, who spoke earlier, and her Hilltop neighborhood, we were not asked by WR Wellness what we, the residents and local business owners, think of them opening a shop in our building. The safety and well-being of our neighborhood and community is a matter of extreme importance to me and my family, as well as my business, which is also across the street from this dispensary. As a business owner in the Powerhouse Arts District, I am constantly working to safeguard against burglary, something that would be much harder to do if this dispensary were to move forwards. I am asking that you oppose this permit. Thank you in advance for putting the safety of your residents and children over the profits.
Our next speaker, 5.25, Jimmy Lee. If you can just state your city for the record.
Jersey City.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council President and members of Council. I am Jimmy Lee, President of Safe Streets, Jersey City. I've been watching the budget hearings, and before I dive into it, I want to commend all of you for asking tough questions of our city agencies and maintaining a watchful eye that agencies from public safety to the parking authority are actually implementing the will of the city, following the city's ordinances, and using our city dollars effectively. So thank you. But tonight, I actually want to talk about something else. I'm here tonight with some very good news. Here are the stats on traffic deaths on non-state roads for Jersey City since 2017 through the first half of the year. 2017, 3. 2018, 4. 2019, 2. 2020, 2. 2021, 6. 2022, 0. That's right. This year, through 6 months and 12 days, we have had 0 traffic deaths on city streets. There were 3 traffic fatalities on state roads, 1 on the Turnpike, 2 on Route 1, including the Lincoln Memorial Bridge. We are making tremendous progress towards our goal of Vision Zero by 2026, and it is clearly within our city's reach. We are proving the naysayers wrong. Many street safety projects from years past to recent ones, from narrowing overly wide angled pedestrian crossings to Jersey Avenue by Liberty State Park to Newark Avenue up the hill recently, they're working well. It is palpable how much calmer the speeds on those streets are now. We also appreciate the help in reinstituting traffic enforcement on JFK Boulevard, and while there are still several sensational crashes, we also believe the stepped-up enforcement is starting to chip away at the reckless driving. I must also warn that the progress is very fragile. Many roads have been accidentally calmed this year via construction and utility work that has happened across the city. School has also been in full session with little interruptions this year. Obviously, school's been out because of COVID. Remember also that Vision Zero does not just include fatalities, but serious injuries as well. A couple of months ago, a driver hit a 5-year-old during pickup time just outside Jersey City Global Charter in the Heights, resulting in hospitalization and surgery. Many problems remain, among them unsafe streets, Columbus, Duncan, Palisades, Summit, Baldwin, St. Paul's, Westside Ave, Communipaw, many more. They remain speedways. But again, Council, this is tremendous progress. We appreciate the growing number of protected bike lanes, the exciting revamp of Columbus and Cole Street, the beginnings of the Greenway from Garfield Avenue Station over to Liberty State Park, and the many open space pop-up projects this year. I urge that we double down and decisively move forward on street calming projects throughout the city.
Sorry, your time is up, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, Colin DeVries. Colin, sorry if I have your last name wrong.
That's fine, thank you. It's DeVries. Thanks.
DeVries, I'm sorry. And you're Jersey City?
Jersey City, yeah.
Thank
thanks.
you.
Good evening, Council. I commute nearly every day through Journal Square, and the fencing at the corner of Bergen and Sip creates a dangerous lemon squeeze of pedestrians. People need to walk single file in either direction between the fence and the Jersey barrier, while many are dropped off in the car lane and blocked by the Jersey barrier, having to walk along with car traffic. When leaving the square heading south, the veiled fencing at Sip creates this blind corner. Pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers can't see each other before entering that intersection. It's just a disaster waiting to happen. I hope that the council and the city will work with the developer to move the fencing back to create more room for safety. If they don't, who then is liable when someone is severely hurt or even killed? Next topic. I want to implore the council to move quickly on building out a north to south protected bike lane on the west side. As costs continue to rise and expenses related to using a car continue along with that, we need more safe transportation alternatives to give more options to people looking to get around town. People who drive from one neighborhood to another for work, like a young man who complains about the traffic when he drives from his home in West Side to his job in the Heights, should also have the option to bike without rolling the dice on safety. Along with that, there is movement to form a statewide Vision Zero task force to make our streets safer. Our state and county highways are dangerous. Many, many Jersey City residents have no choice but to use them or to cross them, but they are at a higher risk of injury or death once they reach them. We need our state leaders, who are elected by the same people who elect the mayor and you all, to do more, and I hope you will express your support for this task force through a resolution or another method of support. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, our next speaker, Jasmine. If you can state your city for the record, please.
Jersey City.
Thank you. Okay.
MMD will benefit the community. I'm here representing Angela Kieras. We at Angela Kieras, we're all about the seniors going above and beyond their needs and reaching every expectation. We at Angela Kieras, we also give out diapers for children, and we also give out Depends for the seniors. We also, on Thursdays, we give out donations, which is the donations that we receive. And also, we have a food pantry that we give out food every third and fourth Friday of the month. And we also have been, we also have been in business for over 10 plus years. And we could definitely benefit from MMD, and we would like to partner with them as well. And moving forward, we know that this could definitely impact Jersey City in a great way, in a positive way.
Thank you.
Okay, next speaker, 5.28, last name Hung, H-U-A-N-G. I'm sorry, I didn't want to butcher your name. If you can just state your city for the record before you speak.
Jersey City.
Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, Council. My name is Boguslava Huang. Over 30 years, I have been teacher and served as director of Joseph Piłsudski Polish Supplementary School. And also, I am president of the Committee for Conservation of the Katyn Monument and Historic Object. I have also been a member of the Memorial Katyn, a memorial committee which established the Katyn Monument at Exchange Place in 1991. We appreciated Mr. DeMarco mentioning that he planned to contact conservator with regarding to treatment and one with hope protection of the cutting monument. However, the date we have never seen any details, report and calculation regarding on the Alliance plans regarding proper professional conservation of the monument. We took it up and oversaw to contact a conservator to better understand the required on the monument before, during, and after such a proposal renovation. As the course, we provided a summary report to the Alliance and, if needed, offered to help raise funds to implement proper conservation measures. We received not reply. According to the Alliance website, the Alliance will be paying $800,000 or approximately 12% of the cost of this renovation project. If those calculations are correct, one would presume that the public will be paying for the majority of the remaining 88% total cost by proposing a second access point from the city side to the area around the cutting monument. Our organization has offered a proposal which should save money on the project by reducing material. Once the renovation are completely, we all expect them to last for the very long time, so it is critical that for that be given to ensure to the best, the most agreeable outcome. We respect to ask to Jersey City Council to advocate or behave to the public to ensure that the Alliance make current updates available to all interested parties right away, and to address those important issues to access, safety, and visibility. Thank you. Sorry for the accent. I hope everybody understands.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Suzanne. And Suzanne, if you could just state your city for the record.
Suzanne Mazurchik, Red Bank, New Jersey.
Thank you.
I also am a member of the Committee for the Conservation of the Cotton Monument and Historic Objects. Safety, access, visibility, these are the three key elements that we are concerned about and that the public has expressed concern about. Accountability, transparency, these are the other two issues that we are concerned about with respect to the Alliance. So safety, access, and visibility of the plan, with regards to the provisions of the current renovation plans. Our organization has been in touch with the Alliance many times, but over the last 6 months or so, for whatever reason, the Alliance has not been forthcoming with regards to the last final changes to the renovation plans. And these are the aspects that the public has expressed frustration with, and we are asking you, Council, to hold them accountable and ask them to be more transparent. I know Mrs. Kane said that the renderings are on the website, but I signed up for the emails on their website to receive updates. I've received none. We've sent emails and phone calls. We've spoken with Mrs. Kane and her staff, and we've been courteous about requests for understanding. She's indicated that changes could be made even during the time of construction. Mr. DeMarco, during the last Zoom meeting for the Alliance, stated he was open to having a second access point from the Montgomery Street side. These are the specifics that we're asking to have: a flexible space that provides access to all the public, that provides safety and addresses concerns people have about the large bench surrounding the monument in the current renderings, and visibility, of course, so that both the monument and the skyline are not obstructed currently or in the future. As Mrs. Huang mentioned, these renovations, once they're done, a lot of money is going to be spent. We want everyone to be happy. We want it to be a win-win. We don't want there to be regrets or frustrations afterwards and wishing that things were changed later. As we all know, with a renovation project, it's more important to get those concerns addressed beforehand, even if it requires a little bit of a further delay. So we appreciate your enforcing better communication and better transparency so that the public feels included and informed. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker, Victoria. Victoria? Okay.
She's coming.
Take your time. No rushing. Of course. It's the least we can do.
That's right.
Suzanne, if you wouldn't mind just bringing the mic down for her, I would greatly appreciate that. Okay, Victoria, if you can just state your city before you speak.
Red Bank, New Jersey.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I also lived in Harrison. That's where I was born. That's your neighborhood. And
So
I know
you're
about
a true New Jersey girl.
Yes, I am. And I'm in my 90s.
God bless you.
I do thank God for that I am here at least to help with the statue's livelihood, you might say, so that it lives here a long time, as was said by the young man who died. What was his name?
Janusz Sporek.
No, Janusz Sporek, but the other man that was a member of the
Mr. Yoon.
Mr.
Councilman
Yoon.
Yoon.
If everybody remembers that man, he said to me when I was here, when we were still wondering whether the statue would be there or not, he said to me, no, he said, the Polish people fight for what they want, for what's good for everyone. And he says they were helpful with us in his country, Korea. So I just want to bring to mind some of the things that Mr. Korea said. I'm calling him Mr. Korea, because he was a lovely man and left the earth too soon, I think. So that's why I'm left here to kind of speak for his statements, so that if they were forgotten by some of his colleagues on the staff in Jersey City here, they will remember. He said that they are just as good as we are, and we are just as good as they are. And the other thing I'd like to make a point is the statue where it stays now, it just faces New York, where the troubles were with the airplanes on the statue of the Twin Towers. So that is part of the beauty of where the statue is situated, where our Staten Forest is stationed, because the view just shows that we are fighting in the same fight that we had to fight in this statue from Katyn is the same as the fighting for the people who killed our tower people. So many families were killed. I had somebody killed when the statues were, and that picture shows when you're looking at the statue on the Katyn Forest Monument. I'm sorry if I'm getting forgetful in my 90 years. So I thank you for the time.
Susan, is that your mom?
Mom, wait a minute.
Is that your mom?
This is my mom.
She's your mom.
Yes.
I just want to say, God bless you, and treasure every moment you have with her. God bless you both.
And I just want to add that Mom's going to be 95 next week.
God bless.
Happy birthday. Very nice.
Every mom has a soft spot in my heart. I'm sorry.
Well, we all know we're fighting for, whether it's the monument or
Yeah.
renovation or another issue. It's so that from from babies to this age, we can all have a good quality of life and celebrate
Yep.
that together.
God,
So,
God bless you both.
God bless her.
Thank you so much.
why the conservation of it is important.
God bless her.
Thank you. Our next speaker, 5.31, Samuel Pot. And Samuel, if you could just state your city for the record, and yes, bring that mic up. You're a tall man too.
Jersey City.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good evening. Hard act to follow. Good evening to the council. My name is Samuel Pot. Yes, get this to stay up here. I'll hold on to it. I'm the artistic director of Nimbus Dance and the Nimbus Art Center, which is located in the Powerhouse Arts District. And I'm here this evening to speak in support of the Exchange Place Alliance. We've been a partner of the Alliance for a number of years. I have engaged personally with the leadership of the Alliance, Elizabeth Kane and Martin Schmid, and have a lot of respect for the sheer breadth of programming that they offer in terms of everything from the clean team, the maintenance of the neighborhood, the cultural and events that they support and put on, and the kind of long-sighted capital investments that they have supported over the years. So I've been impressed and want to just express my support for the Alliance and its team. And I'd like to just back that up, kind of to bring it into something more real and tangible. The Nimbus Art Center opened 2 years ago, and some of you are aware that we serve youth and people of all ages from throughout Jersey City. We awarded almost $50,000 in scholarships to young people from all over Jersey City and all different backgrounds to be able to pursue dance and the arts. The Nimbus Art Center wouldn't be possible if it weren't for the support of the Exchange Place Alliance. So that's just to reiterate that the impact that they have does extend beyond just the waterfront area and really has an impact throughout the city. So I have faith in their ability to manage a lot of projects and to budget accordingly. Thank you.
Okay, not on your speakers list, but did sign up before the meeting started. And the last speaker, 5.32, Hugh Giordano. And if I mispronounce your name, sir, okay.
Hugh
and your city?
Giordano, Blackwood, New Jersey.
Thank you.
My name is Hugh Giordano, and I am a union representative for the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, UFCW. The UFCW is a national labor union of 1.4 million hardworking families, and we are proud to be the official cannabis labor union, both medical and adult use, under the guise of the AFL-CIO. Before I begin and say anything further, I would like to let council know that if an applicant comes forward with an LPA that is not signed by the UFCW, it should be questioned. It should be questioned for its validity based on what an LPA represents. An LPA is an agreement that allows workers to form and join a union without the fear of intimidation or being terminated. A non-UFCW LPA is most likely watered down and should be questioned for the future. I am here specifically to support two candidates for approval, WR Wellness and MMD NJ LLC. Both of these employers signed a labor peace agreement with the UFCW. What does that mean? That means good jobs, good wages, healthcare, dental, vision, prescription, retirement. These workers will also most likely come into this industry well-trained. But on top of that, the UFCW, like any other labor union, has an apprenticeship program and a national apprenticeship program that trains from seed to sale. This gives working-class Jersey City residents an opportunity to become a professional, to get into this industry and have education and training on their side. Just like the carpenters, just like the IBEW, no different. I want to make it clear that these workers will be well-trained and well-educated. On top of that, because they're union members and because they're going to get a fair wage and benefits, we don't have to worry about them giving out product to kids or people that don't belong in this industry inside the facility. My union represents Jim Beam. My union represents Bacardi. We don't see our members outside giving out Bacardi and Jim Beam liquor to kids off the truck, do we? That's because they're well paid. Who would do that to somebody? Our workers are also going to have the ability to get higher education for absolutely free. All the workers in WR Wellness and MMDNJ will be guaranteed a free associate's degree or a free bachelor's degree, fully funded by the union through community college. This gives working class people that have been forgotten about, specifically people of color, women, and immigrants, an opportunity to get well educated and to have the union on their side. It's important to look at LPAs as a true future for working class people in Jersey City. It's a guarantee that these employers on day one are going to be ethical and moral, treat their workers with respect and dignity, as what the governor wants, as what Assemblyman Coughlin wants, and former Senate President Sweeney. This law was passed based on social equity and economic justice. That's what labor peace is about. It's about making sure that people of color and working class people have an opportunity to be treated with respect on day one. So I would ask that both these applicants be approved. And on behalf of the UFCW and AFL-CIO, thank you.
Let me ask you one question before you leave. A micro business doesn't have to sign a union agreement, do they?
No.
I just want the council to know. Thank you.
No. And I just want to say that we do have micros that do
I know,
sign.
but I just
Thank
want
you.
them to know because you said all. That's why.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We are done with the public speaking portion of the meeting. On to our petitions and communications. Council members, any questions on items 6.1 through 6.28? Hearing none. Any questions or comments on office communications 7.1 through 7.2? Any questions or comments on the report of directors 8.1 through 8.3? Hearing none, we're going right on to our claims. We have claims and addendums number 1, number 2, and number 3. Again, I'm going to take in a vote on claims and addendums number 1, number 2, and number 3. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Claims and addendums number 1, number 2, and number 3 are approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Okay, council members, we're moving on to our resolutions, but before I take a vote on all of the resolutions, I believe item 10.2 is going to be withdrawn as per Councilperson Solomon.
Yeah, just a brief update. There were a couple of language changes that were requested in the last 48 hours, and instead of rushing those changes to the council, we decided we wouldn't have the vote today, but there is 100% commitment that the item will come back with the changes for the August meeting. So.
Okay. Thank you, James.
BA, we're okay with withdrawing?
Yeah, we're going to work with Councilman Solomon and bring it back. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, with that being said, I'm going to be taking a vote on items 10.1 through 10.13, with the exception of 10.2, which has been withdrawn. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano.
I'm going to abstain on 10.5 and 6 until I have more information, which is coming through the neighborhood. And I'm going to abstain on 10.7 because I want more information as to what's going on. And yes on the rest.
Thank you. Councilperson Saleh.
I'm going to vote aye. For 10.5, 10.6, I met with them and I congratulate them and they have my support. 10.7, I agree that regarding that area, it needs to be renovated, right? But it has to be done in a responsible way. And I think this vote, I'm going to vote aye, but it's going to start a clock for 45 days. They're going to have to introduce the budget. We're going to have discussions. I've met Elizabeth Kane, and I look forward to talking to her more about, some of these concerns. I think some of the things that have happened at Exchange Place, have been really incredible in terms of the arts and the support of the arts and the different performances. However, we have to be sensitive to the community. I do want to look into what's going on with the board of directors. I'm a little disturbed to hear that they don't live here. So I think that if that is indeed the case, I don't think it would be acceptable for any other SID to have people that don't live in Jersey City to be on the board. I have nothing against anyone who is on the board. I just met with Jeremy Farrell before this council meeting, but I do, that accusation does trouble me. So I think that we should have a discussion about that. With that said, I do vote aye. I look forward to having the discussion with you, Elizabeth Kane. I look forward to, what gets done down at Exchange Place. Thank you.
Okay. Councilperson Solomon.
I'm going to vote aye for all. And then just briefly on 10.7, very much want to see the renovations take place. Want to work with the Exchange Place Alliance. There were a few items that were brought up that I think, the discussion get very heated. I think there are a few reasonable questions. In the next month or so, we can work with the Alliance on getting answers. But I think it's really important that the budget move forward today, which is why I'm voting aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
I'm going to vote aye on all. 10.7, I do have a few questions. Just, I guess, I don't know, Peter, if it is pending lawsuits or pending litigation, in what way, if any, does it affect?
I think I can represent. There's no pending litigation as to the city itself. I believe there is litigation involving the Alliance. So I can't really opine on that question without knowing more details on what the litigation is. However, it should not hold up the budget in any way, certainly.
Please, no shouting out. No shouting out, please. Please respect people who are speaking, because we respected you when you were speaking.
So the answer to the question is no, it should not hold up the budget adoption process.
And Councilman, this is just the introduction. As the Councilman Slade noted, there's a 45-day period in which it'll be conversation, and then it comes back for a public hearing and final adoption.
Okay. Yes, Sean, I vote aye.
Okay, Councilperson DeGise.
I vote aye. In regards to 10.7, I think that the Alliance is doing a fantastic job on the area. However, move away from the statue. Please stop riling up a community and making them feel offended or attacked. Bring them in on these conversations more and move this stuff away. Keep the beautiful things around the area and keep the statue as it is, where it is, without any blockage. Please continue good work. I do have some additional questions that I should have identified earlier, comparing the SID's budgets. So I'll just send them through email for the next meeting. But I would like some more answers and information on this as well.
And Council President Waterman.
I vote aye on all, and I'll abstain on 10.7.
Abstaining on 10.7 and voting aye on all, correct? Okay. So if I could just recap, item 10.1 is approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.2 has been withdrawn. Item 10.3 through 10.4 is approved 8-0 with Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.5 is approved 7-0-1 with Councilperson Baggiano abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.6 is approved 7-0-1 with Councilperson Baggiano abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. And item 10.7 is approved 6-0-2 with Council members Baggiano and Council President Waterman abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. On to our next set of resolutions. I'll be taking a vote on items 10.14 through 10.23. Again, items 10.14 through 10.23. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
Aye.
Councilperson Saleh.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Solomon.
Aye.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise. Aye. And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Items 10.14 through 10.23 are approved 8-0, with Councilperson Rivera absent. On to the balance of our resolutions, items 10.24 through 10.35. Again, items 10.24 through 10.35. Councilperson Ridley.
Aye.
Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye for all.
Councilperson Baggiano.
I'm going to abstain on 1034. Aye on the rest.
10.34, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Councilperson Saleh.
I just want to ask the law department one question before I vote. If for the cannabis applicants that are approved today, are they supposed to go back to the Cannabis Control Board after they've gotten state approval, or do you have that information on hand by any chance?
I don't have that information on hand, but I can communicate that to you tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. I just want to know, even though I do think it's redundant, if that does happen, I'm going to vote aye for all, but for 1034, I hope that they do a little more community outreach. You know, I saw part of their plan. I think that they should do a little more community outreach, that's all.
So you said aye on all, Councilperson Saleh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Councilperson Solomon.
I just want to vote aye for all, and I just want to state my position. I understand Andre spoke with, with objections around on those setting at 150 Bay, and the approach I'm trying to take is that, the voters of Jersey City overwhelmingly approved recreational marijuana, and then, we set an ordinance that established where it could go and where it couldn't, and it's a balance, and we are going to engage in intense oversight to make sure that these businesses actually abide by the rules and are not engaging in any type of activity that may harm the neighborhood. But with that said, I think I don't want to set a precedent where, I think we want to have a very high standard, a very strict scrutiny if we object to an application before us. And I think, with that, I'm going to vote aye for all.
Councilperson Gilmore.
Aye.
Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman.
Aye.
Okay, if I can just recap. Items 10.24 through 10.33 are approved 8-0, with Councilperson Rivera absent. Item 10.34 is approved 7-0-1, with Councilperson Baggiano abstaining and Councilperson Rivera absent. Without any other further items, may I have a motion to adjourn at 7:48 p.m.?
Motion.
So I'm going to give that motion to Councilperson Prinzary.
Second.
And I'm going to give the second to Councilperson Saleh. On the motion to adjourn at 7:48 p.m., Councilperson Ridley. Councilperson Prinzary.
Aye.
Councilperson Baggiano. Councilperson Saleh.
Aye.
Councilperson Solomon. Councilperson Gilmore. Councilperson DeGise.
Aye.
And Council President Waterman. Motion carries 8-0 to adjourn at 7:48 p.m. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, everyone here. And remember, teamwork makes the dream work. Have a great night. Stay safe, everyone.